Hey guys, welcome back to Telltale. I'm Emily.
I'm Greg.
And today we're going to be talking about another in the Philip K. Dick series, Beyond the Door.
We are Telltale Books, bringing you the best in literature, literary topics, and graphic design and bookmaking.
If you want to support us, you can find us on Etsy and Pango, where you can find gently used, rare, and even top quality used books.
And if you like this video, be sure to hit the like button, the subscribe button, and maybe even that bell to be notified when new videos go live.
Thanks for joining us. There's a sentient cuckoo clock in this house.
Is it, or is he just out of his mind?
I mean, all of them are at that rate.
Okay. My take on this, I thought it was a fun story, a little story, a fun revenge fantasy. Mm-hmm. But it was enjoyable, worth reading if you like other things by Philip K. Dick, worth looking this one up, but not one of his top stories.
Yeah, he's written better
tale.
ones.
Yeah.
I feel the same way. I was just telling Greg before we started the video, it feels like this is one of those comedic, almost Popeye the Sailor Man kind of stories where, you know, there's a misunderstanding and everything's kind of like very comedic, very cartoony in style, even in dialogue. It's like this could have been a little comic strip kind of situation thing done in the funnies. Mm-hmm. That's kind of how I interpreted this, and it was really, really short. So
okay. I kind of took it a little different, but Beyond the Door, it's number 36 on my list of Philip K. Dick's works, which may or may not be accurate. 36th one that he published in order of publication. Was published in January 1954, so we turned the calendar into 1954.
After all the 1953, goodness gracious, the man's a machine. Anyway.
And it was published in Fantastic Universe magazine, one of the smaller, shorter-lived science fiction magazines of the 1950s. And it is just a short story. It is a fantasy story, not science fiction. And give it a little more synopsis.
Okay, so the story starts with a man buys a cuckoo clock for his wife that he's always wanted, but of course in man form. He tells her that, yeah, he bought it on wholesale, otherwise he couldn't afford it. You know, trying to kind of take a jab at her. Like, oh, you want such expensive things. And she's, you know, walks away with the cuckoo clock, tries not to think too much about it and ruin things. You know, he did something nice for her. She's trying to focus on that. And so she sits there and she opens it up and she winds it up and gets it all ready and situated and sitting on there on her little dresser. And she looks at it and she waits and she sees the little door open. The little cuckoo bird just kind of peeks his head out and looks around and sees everything. And she's like, oh, he's so cute. And then she's like, come on, you can come out and sing. And so the bird does. He chimes and does his thing. And so she gets this vibe from the cuckoo clock bird that it likes her. So she's pleased with the gift. But she recognizes right away within the first few days it does not like her husband, whose name was Larry, I think?
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't like Larry. Sometimes it doesn't come out at all when he's there, or chime when it's supposed to, or chime as many times as it's supposed to. So it has a mind of its own, especially when Larry's around. And then one day she decides, I need to show this to Bob. Bob is one of her dear friends, and kind of hints that maybe there's something romantic going on.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, so, you know. But he's a man who gives her attention and appreciates the same thing she appreciates. So she invites him over in to look at the cuckoo clock. And while they're waiting for it to chime, Larry comes home on lunch and realizes they're there and kicks them both out. He's just like, I'm leaving you. You both can go live together and be happy or whatever. But I'm keeping the cuckoo clock. Which is dumb, because he doesn't like the cuckoo clock. She knows he doesn't like the cuckoo clock. He's just being petty. Mm-hmm. And so finally one day, he's just really pissed off at this cuckoo clock. It doesn't cooperate. It doesn't do anything it's supposed to. He's making sharp comments to it all the time. Like, yeah, no wonder I did buy you on wholesale. So, you know, all this bullshit. And he decides, fine, if you're not going to chime for me, I'm just going to smash you up. So he goes and grabs a hammer, lays it on the table, and says, I'm going to smash you up. So you either got to make a sound or you got to go. And so as he's raising the hammer, basically the cuckoo bird jumps out, extends itself, and stabs him in the brain. Right through his eye socket.
Mm-hmm.
And then he falls over dead.
Mm-hmm. When I started reading the story, right off the bat, I wrote down, Larry treats his wife like crap.
Yeah.
Because he
is.
was a total asshole. He was just so horrible towards her.
He'd do something out of the kindness of his heart and then take the time to make sure that she knew it was an inconvenience to him.
Yeah.
Like,
well, and
narcissists
he
do
did it
that.
out of the kindness of his heart, but he got it as cheaply as he possibly could.
Yes. But then he had to let you know, which is rude. That's also bad etiquette. When you're gift giving, you don't tell him how much it costs or where you got it.
Right.
It's bad etiquette.
You just
So
leave the
he's
price
just-
tag under. No.
Yeah, he's just making sure he jabs at her to know that this was an inconvenience to him and he wouldn't have been able to afford a nicer one and all this other stuff. Like he's a saint, but really what he's saying is she's too much.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Such a dick.
it was no surprise that she was having an affair. It was no surprise that the story developed to where he and the cuckoo clock weren't getting along because he hated the cuckoo clock from the beginning, and I can understand that one. My dad bought my mother a cuckoo clock, and he paid, the one he bought wasn't an antique or anything. It was a brand new one, but it was a nice one. But those things are loud,
They are.
and when
You
it's
hear him through the whole house.
10, 11 o'clock,
Yeah, my grandparents had a
it's
cuckoo
like, man,
clock.
is it going to end yet?
Yeah. From their trip to Germany, my grandparents had a cuckoo clock that they brought back, and you can hear that. Their house was a sprawling ranch. They'd even had more additions put on later in their time owning it.
Okay.
You could hear that cuckoo clock in every corner of that house, and I did not want to be right next to it
Yeah.
whenever it went off. I liked it. I thought it was cool. It was a very beautiful clock, but I hated being so close to it when it went off.
Mm-hmm.
It was very loud.
But then, when Doris leaves and he's alone with this cuckoo clock and they're at odds, it was weird that the cuckoo clock was sentient like this. Because of course in reality they aren't.
It's very Pinocchio-esque.
Yeah, but it kind of built a tension. And yeah, you were cheering for something to happen for this guy to get his
he was a
just
villain
desserts.
you like to hate. Yeah.
And so then in the end, for him to get stabbed by the cuckoo clock was, yeah, right on.
And I was very pleased because then they got the cuckoo clock back.
Yeah.
Because he died, so she could
And
get her cuckoo clock back. And
This
she's happy.
story, if, I saw it as kind of dark, kind of
Yeah.
creepy.
I saw it as a
but-
good for her kind of story.
Yeah, and
Good for
I
her
didn't
horror.
see the more cartoony comedic side of it as you did.
I saw it as like a dark comedy, essentially.
I see it. This is almost like a Stephen King story, except that Stephen King would have intensified the creepiness and tension and
more
stuff.
atmospheric, yeah.
Yeah, it would have taken it a lot further, building towards that end.
I interpreted it as much more playful because that's kind of how it was written. It was bouncy. It was situational comedy almost. It was everything about this situation was absurd, and that's why I interpreted it that way.
And of course, everything like this relates to Edgar Allan Poe. Remember the one with the clock that cuts the lady's head
Yes.
off? I mean, it's like that. So it all goes back
that
to
dark
Poe.
comedy kind of vibe.
There's a lot of Ray Bradbury like that, where you read it and you go, he loved Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a good story, but not great.
Yeah, and it was very short. It took, again, no time to read it all. Like less than 10 minutes for me.
Yeah.
It could have had a lot more substance. It would have been interesting if there was like a reason behind the sentience of the cuckoo clock.
Yeah.
Or like, and I think that's why in my mind I interpreted it
Or
as a cartoon.
at least hints of some kind of evil spirit in it or
yeah,
something. Or
was there some kind of
curse that was put on
like
it or
how'd she get that
something,
vibe that it
Yeah.
liked her?
Mm-hmm.
Is she part of that video game that's gone viral called Date Everything, where each of the items in your house turns into someone hot?
Okay.
We live in a weird time. It's
Yes,
a
we
weird
do.
dating sim game. But yeah, I think that's why in my brain I switched it to almost be playing out like a cartoon or a cartoon strip.
Okay.
And that's just what my brain did, because it felt like a Date Everything game. It felt like something that would happen in a Popeye thing, where he and that big guy who was always a villain, what's his name? Yeah. The two of them would, like, always have something, some misunderstanding where, and Popeye's mad at Olive Oyl and tells her to go and whatever, and she goes and to cool off somewhere, and he's sitting there mad at the clock for no apparent reason.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because it's an inanimate object. But it's a cartoon, so it's not.
Yeah.
That's kind of the way my brain played it out.
Okay.
So it was like watching an episode of Popeye.
And me, I guess I just was
Yeah,
too
you
deep
just
into
finished the stand, so everything's like,
Everything's relating to Stephen King all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So, no, I did enjoy it. And
I did too.
I do think if you like Philip K. Dick, or if you just like this kind of quirky, kind of dark humor fantasy, and you like short stories, of course, this is definitely a good story to look up and read. And it is, I forget which one I read it in. One of my Philip K. Dick collections, short story collections, I read it in.
Yeah, and I got it offline.
Mm-hmm.
We found a PDF of the original.
Yeah, Fantastic
offline.
Universe, that issue, January 54. You can get a PDF at archive.org, I believe.
Yep. So it was very accessible to find this story.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
So if you've read Beyond the Door, and that's the other thing, is just the title. I see how the title relates after reading it, but before I read it, I was thinking something a lot more supernatural.
Especially because we kind of had that other story, what was that, Beyond the Door, or Behind the Door, or something, by Francis Stephen.
Yeah.
I think I went into this expecting something and then not, again, adding to the absurdity to me. Mm-hmm. It just...
Yeah,
just a little guy behind the door.
I was expecting something a lot more occult than what this was, but it is a cool title.
If a demon came out and killed him,
love
that'd
the
be
title.
fun.
Yeah.
That'd be a little more interesting.
Maybe the bird is a demon.
Who knows?
That's how it's sentient.
I like that little bird, though. He saved her happiness at the expense of her shitty husband.
Yeah.
Go team.
So anyway, if you've read Beyond the Door and have thoughts, please put them in the comment section of this video for everybody to read and enjoy. And we'll be doing more Philip K. Dick. As usual, I forgot to write down what the next one is, but we have a lot. I mean, we haven't even gotten to his first novel yet.
Heaven help us. There's so much.
We've only made it through his first, year and a half of writing so far, up to number 36.
The man was a
We got a long way to go with Philip K. Dick, so come on back for a lot more of that and a lot more of everything else we do, topics and
reviews.
What else do we do?
Yeah, we do.
lots of other reviews, lots of other topics.
Sometimes we're funny. That's something.
That's
sometimes.
That's a subjective.
So is everything else we do, Greg. Except the topics. Well, sometimes the topics. Sometimes not.
We've started a series on fantasy art and the influences. So come on back for all of that stuff. You'll be seeing that here. And
and also if you want to keep supporting us, we do have 2 online bookstores. One on Pango Books with more contemporary works that are in great, fantastic condition. And then we also have an Etsy store where we have some of our rare antique versions of things. So feel free to check those out. Adopt one of our books if you feel so inclined. It helps support us in our goals to eventually publish our own, and it also helps support us in
money.
Yeah, getting the money is hard. That we have so many books we gotta get a hold of too, in order to be able to do reviews of them. So you guys are fueling our addiction for reading and designing and all the things. So if you want to support us, those are some great ways you can do so. So thanks again. Like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.